Hello, my name is Pamela Deneuve, and I clicked on my own link the other day on my calendar for my link, and I was just trying to make sure that everything worked. Because every now and then, we should check our links because we are introduced to people through our links and through our websites and our calendar. But lo and behold, when I clicked my link, I did not recognize my life at all. So I want to share a story with you that's a little unsettling, embarrassing, and honestly, it's a little scary. Not because someone hacked me, but because I trusted my systems and I believed that they worked. And they quietly stopped doing that, and I didn't even know. If you run businesses or if you coach clients or you rely on your online presence to build trust, this is something that you want to hear. So lean in closely, and I'm going to tell you what happened to me. So it was like an ordinary day, and I was talking with my brand new client. He had been following me for a while, and we scheduled our first session. So everything seemed normal. And then as we were deciding, he had decided that he was going to go forward and work with me and my program. And he said, by the way, who is this other person, someone named Zimmerman? And I said, I don't know anyone named Zimmerman. I don't know. And he said, well, yeah. I said, well, could you give me the link and so I can see and who Zimmerman is? Because it has nothing to do with me. I'm not Zimmerman. I don't look like Zimmerman. I thought at first he was joking, but he wasn't joking. So he explained to me that when he clicked on something, he ran into this other person and that it was hard to get through to me. Fortunately, we had been direct messaging. This was on LinkedIn, and so we were direct messaging, so that worked out fine. But when I met with my tech team, we just said, let's check our links. I think we need to be checking our links. So it was me and it was two of my people on my tech team, and we were all sharing a screen, and we went to my click and make an appointment, and all of our jaws all dropped because it was completely someone different. It said, call me, and left the first thing that came up was a number and a name that I did not know. And then it sent me over to a calendar. Wasn't my calendar, it was someone else's calendar. So I put my name, my initials, and I booked appointment. And then all of a sudden immediately I got something that gave me a Zoom. Here's a Zoom call. We're going to talk to you. Then all of a sudden I was on a mailing list. None of this had anything to do with my business. Furthermore, my business didn't know that there was someone who was me at that time trying to find out more about my services. When I tested my links, I was in for so big surprise because it was like you were clicking on something, you were knocking on the door, and you open the door and you're in somebody else's house. And that's what it felt like. It was like I was in someone else's house. I didn't recognize anything in the house. I didn't recognize the furniture. I didn't recognize the house. I didn't recognize the room. I didn't recognize the address. It was like knocking on my door and going into somewhere Neverland, which I didn't know. When I saw it, I was just like, my mouth dropped. And then I was like, how long has this been going on? Has this been going on days, weeks, months? I have no idea. Of course, what would your reaction be? My first reaction was I was furious. How could someone do this? Why would someone do this? And how did they get their link where if you click to book an appointment with me, how did their link get there? I have no idea, but it was very unsettling. And because you hear about it, I've had clients that, oh my gosh, have had really much more terrible things happen where their identity was stolen. I knew someone like their credit was ruined. They had all sorts of things. It cost them all kind of money to clear their name because someone decided to steal their identity. When you think about it, our professional identity is our credentials. I mean, people know us. I've been doing what I've been doing for 30 years. I have a reputation. So if someone did that and then they found out, they clicked on my calendar or my link to schedule an appointment and it goes to another neighborhood to someone else that they don't even know who it is, that could be harmful to your reputation. We have our systems, we have our links, we have our calendars, we have our email, but mine were not working for me. If a client came, I didn't get a notification, not an email, not a Zoom, and everything was fine. So now, here's a lesson I want to share with you. Most of us identify our issues, that things like that happen to me, it happens to someone else, but it happened to me. I didn't think that would happen to me, but it happened to me. So it could happen to you too. Nothing crashed. There was nothing that alerted me that this was going on, and nothing looked broken. You looked on me, it says book an appointment. I didn't know that if you said book an appointment, that it was going to go to someone else. So if you are a professional, and this is kind of a PSA, if you are a professional and you want to be sure that you establish your trust, your reputation, make sure that your links are all set. Check them periodically. And I'm going to do it like every few weeks or a month now. I've been checking it every few days because they are a part of your brand. They're a part of the promise that you are making. Like, book an appointment. I was promising that if they clicked that link, they could book an appointment with me, but they couldn't because they were way somewhere else. So check your links and check them again, and then make sure that it goes to your website. If you click on your website, that you go to your website, check your calendar links. Make sure that your emails, check your emails, send yourself an email. Make sure your emails are landing in your box because you do not want to accidentally introduce your clients to a stranger. I don't know how many people, if it could have been going on for months, I don't know how many people were introduced to a stranger who I have no idea what he does, if he's reputable. I have no idea about that. This is what happened to me. And I am sharing this because I want you to be aware that this is something you want to watch out for. So this is like a warning, and it's also a PSA, public service announcement, to check this. And if my story helped one person catch a problem before their client does, which is my client, wondered who the person was that my link was going to, it's really worth me sharing this. So thanks for listening, and be sure to check all your links, check your calendar, all those things. I don't want what happened to me to happen to you.